I work as a casino dealer. Usually, we have full house, but there are occasional evenings that are slow, just like that night, so they let me go home early. The problem was, the next bus wouldn't arrive for an hour, and I didn't want to wait that long. A 20-minute walk seemed like a better idea, especially after sitting for 8 hours at the poker table. I couldn't help but appreciate the peacefulness of the deserted streets. There were no annoying crowds, no traffic, just the occasional encounter with someone who had a few too many drinks or had fallen on hard times. People usually steered clear of me, probably because of my imposing stature or permanently pissed off face. No one wants to start trouble with an angry big guy at such a weird hour, so I was sure to be safe. But that sense of security faded when I reached an abandoned industrial complex. It was a grim and silent place. The area had its grim reputation, and I could see why. The eerie stillness was abruptly broken by screeches and hisses. My heart raced until I realized it was just 2 cats messing around. With a sigh of relief, I kept on moving further, trying to find my way to the other side of the complex. But then I heard a deep growl, far too menacing for a cat. I quickened my pace and tried to hurry past. I wanted to get out of there swiftly. I froze when I heard heavy footsteps, slowly but surely closing in on me. I tried to escape, changing directions on every turn, but the footsteps drew only nearer. I hid behind trash cans around the corner, and I carefully listened, but there was only silence. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I noticed a car's headlights approaching. It was the police. I jolted right away and sprinted toward them. As soon as I stepped into the beam of their headlights, a noise came from behind me. The trash cans, the same ones I was near just a mere seconds ago, rattled and screeched as if something heavy had collided with them. I frantically pointed towards the commotion, my eyes locked on the bins. In the dim light, I saw a pair of shiny eyes staring back at me from the darkness. As the police officers emerged from their car, the mysterious presence retreated into the shadows, disappearing from sight. I couldn't get a good look at it, but it sounded hungry and predatory. I shuddered to think what might have happened if the police had arrived a few seconds later. One of the police officers cautiously investigated while the others stayed with me. I recounted my eerie encounter, and the officer called for backup. Eventually, the officer returned with grim expression on his face. The only thing he found were huge claw marks on the metal sheets of trash cans. They gave me a ride home, but warned me to stay away from the area. Apparently, 2 people had gone missing there in the past few days, prompting their patrols. If it weren't for them cruising around the complex, it would already be 3 missing. To this day, nothing has been found in that forsaken place, but rumors persist of people vanishing from time to time. I may never know what I encountered that night, but I have no intention of returning to find out. I never expected that a casual night of celebration with my friend would turn into a nightmare that would haunt me for the rest of my life. It all began when my friend dropped the bombshell. His girlfriend had said yes to his marriage proposal. To commemorate this joyous occasion, I insisted we head to the nearest casino, where we could toast to his newfound happiness. The night unfolded just as we had anticipated. A cascade of money spent on whiskey, and even more squandered on games. We reveled in the moments, savoring life's sweetness as the hours passed us by. But as our merriment reached its zenith, the casino staff had seen enough and unceremoniously ushered us out into the night. We staggered through the darkened streets, two intoxicated buddies, high on life and clutching a half-empty bottle of whiskey. The path we trod, however, led us astray, and we found ourselves within the desolate confines of an abandoned industrial complex. Our laughter suddenly subsided, overtaken by an ominous growl that shattered the silence. Frozen in place, we strained our senses to listen, but all that met our ears was an eerie hush. Then, a solitary footstep, followed by another and another, each one closer and more resonant than the last. Something was advancing toward us. The realization hit me like a splash of icy water, sobering me instantly. Panic overcame us, and we dashed off, attempting to outmaneuver whatever it was that pursued us. We zigzagged through the labyrinthine passages, desperate to shake off our pursuer. Distant growls grew ever closer, each one marking our relentless tormentor's approach. After a series of random turns and twists, we sought refuge behind a row of trash cans. Hearts pounding in our chests. Huddled there, we strained to hear any sign of pursuit. But all we encountered was silence. We listened carefully, but nothing. Have we managed to evade our predator? Relief washed over until an ear-splitting growl erupted right beside me. Before I could even turn my head, I felt an agonizing slash across my face. My world blurred into darkness, whether from missing eyes or a veil of blood, I couldn't tell. All I could do was listen to the dreadful sounds. My friend's anguished screams fading into the night, replaced by the silence. But then, the creature began moving again. Footsteps approached, each one heavier and more menacing than the last, slow and deliberate. The footsteps halted right before me, and in that moment, a loud bang reverberated. I could discern faint, agonized growls from the creature, and distant shouts amid the persistent ringing. My memories after that point were a chaotic jumble. But when I finally awoke, I was in the hospital. Everything was enveloped in darkness. Bandages covered my eyes, and a doctor informed me that one of my eyes had been irrevocably damaged. Confusion clouded my mind, and it was a stranger who pieced together the puzzle for me. He shared his own harrowing tale. A year earlier, his son had disappeared in this very place, and he had heard rumors of a shadowy beast responsible. No one had ever glimpsed its true form. It always lurked in the shadows. He explained that he comes here every night, hunting the creature, and this was the first time he had taken a shot at it. He jokingly thanked me for being the unwitting bait. His demeanor changed when I inquired about my friend. He confessed that he had shot the creature, even though it had remained hidden in the dark corners and shadows. But it had managed to drag my friend away, and his body had never been recovered. Now, all I can think of is how to face my friend's fiancée and deliver the heart-wrenching news. Guilt gnaws at me. If I hadn't taken him to that casino, we would never have wandered near that forsaken area.